Hey, what's up everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so it's starting to warm up out here, man. Headed over to my therapist. Gonna do the normal stuff. I kind of dragged out of the house a little later than I should, trying to figure out what I wanted to wear because it's hot. And I don't have a whole lot of clothes for the summertime, man. A lot of black. And so I got a black shirt underneath my Lakers shirt, but I didn't really want to wear this today, but you know what I'm saying? Just gonna try to get there. So that's really what it's about. The shoes feel a little better today. Yesterday, I wore my Max Pluses for the first time. I had a little issues with them. They have to be broken in. It's not like the Vapor Maxes. For those who are looking for comfortable shoes, the Vapor Maxes are definitely 20,000 times more comfortable than these. But it feels a little better in the second day, you know. Plus, I put insoles in these, which I don't really know if it really needs, to be honest with you. But since I'm so comfortable with the Vapor Maxes, I didn't want to have the adjustment of not having that type of fluffy feel, but the insoles made it so that the right foot feels tighter on the top. So I was kind of having some issues with that. But all in all, these shoes are pretty good, man. I like them. I don't know if you can see them, but you know, all black. That's how I like to get down, man. Both of the shoes I got were all black because they match everything, and I usually wear, if not always, wear black socks. I don't have any white socks at this point in my life. And you know, even though I love colorways, different colorways, I just felt like it's easier for them to get dirty since I do so much walking. So these are probably easier to appear to look as if they're clean, and that's really what it's about. So yeah, that's what it is, man. Headed over there to get this done. Hopefully I'm not full of sweat by the time I get there, man. That's really what it is, because it's hot out here. I got a lot of walking ahead as usual. But you know, if anything, I just wanted to tell everybody to have a great day. I don't have a whole lot on my mind. Probably want to use most of my space to talk basketball, but I just want to give everybody updates, see how things are going. I haven't done any art in the last couple of days. I did do a playlist. I don't know if I told you, I did a playlist where it actually is about 3.5 hours long. So I made it 2 CDs, called it NoHo Alpha and NoHo Omega. I think I forgot to actually mention that. You can catch that on BDF Apple Music, I believe it is. BDF 44, I don't know if I ever put the 44 on there or not, but BDF at Apple Music. And the way it's set up is it's a K-list and a delete CD. Even though they pretty much got the same music on it, that was just kind of how I wanted to sort it out. They're both kindred, obviously, made together, but one of them's on the K-list side of things and the other's delete CD. So it's delete CD 389 and K-list 384. That's exactly how that goes. And so y'all can look that up and enjoy that music. I enjoyed making it. There's a lot of good stuff. I've listened to only the first half of it, Alpha, 2 nights ago. Loved every second of it. Omega I've yet to listen to, and new music has already come out, so I'm gonna be working on something else probably before I even get to that one. So that's just how it is. But I haven't really done any any art since I moved into this room. My attitude is to just, I like to usually do art in the morning, but I hated getting out this late as I normally do. It started messing with my willingness to want to leave the house. By the time I'm done doing art, I'm already lazy, and I found myself laying down a lot in the last 2 rooms. So in this room, I just said, you know what, I need to try to get out the house earlier and force myself out more consistently. So the art is what has to take a back seat, but not too much. I just got to figure out another way to work it into the equation. But I've been really good about doing my hundreds workouts this week. What am I, 4 days straight? 4 days straight. Yeah, I did them yesterday, day before that, and day before that. So that's the longest streak I've been on for my hundreds in a while as far as that particular exercise. And yeah, man, just trying to work the old body, man. Work the old body. I've definitely been slacking on my diet, but got to get back on track with that. I tried something from Trader Joe's that I think may actually work out. It's calamari to go with my rice. That's squid, for those who don't know what that is. I loved squid all my life. I've been enjoying calamari since I was about 8 years old. When somebody asked me at San Francisco I was with my mother at San Francisco Fisherman's Wharf that has since closed down. She used to always talk about that place, and we finally ended up going when I was a kid, and that's what I ordered there, calamari, and I loved every bit of it. My mom was so skeptical that I would like it, but I enjoyed every second. And I don't think I've ever had any squid I didn't like. That's just probably one of my favorite seafoods. So when I found they were selling it at Trader Joe's, I was like, all right, let me try that, because everything else I've been trying has been giving me trouble digestively. And so today, I didn't have any issues with that. So maybe that'll be what I try to settle into for a couple seconds. I don't want to eat the same thing every day like I usually do, especially with calamari, stuff like that. You don't want to eat every day, but it seems like that's digesting well. So we'll see if day 2 works well. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Obviously, what's going on in Gaza is always on my mind, but I really don't think I have anything extra to say other than we're still praying for everybody who's going through that. And you know, it's just a bunch of nonsense. And so you guys can listen to all of my old rants as I was getting into just how all it looks. I don't think I have anything new to say today. The news is still the same, man. I saw more children in my phone today. A mother holding her son who had died of malnutrition, asking her aunt to help her wake him up. Like, it was just devastating, you know, type of stuff like that people are going through, while these individuals think it's a game. A lot of these Zionists think it's funny or whatever the hell they think this is. The devastation they're putting real people through, I'm seeing it. And so when they go off and have a little tongue-in-cheek attitude about the whole thing, it doesn't bring about positive thoughts for them. So that's just what it is, man. Start seeing all the celebrities that support this nonsense and who are fighting to see Israel have an opportunity to continue doing what they're doing in the name of the far too many times debunked narrative of Hamas and headless babies and all different types of stuff that's really just not going on, to be honest with you. We see the real headless babies. We know who's actually killing who. And so we pay attention to that. And then you listen to these individuals that just flat out are evil. Evil, the actual definition of evil, not the made up Zionist definition of things, but like truly meant for the destruction of people and the spitting out of horrible intentions. And so, you know, you just see the results of the devastation. And it's something that I'm praying about every single day and hoping to use my voice for as much as I can. And so that's where my head is, man. I just want to see people get into a space where they're not under that anymore. And I'm afraid the Palestinian people are the sacrifice for all of us waking up to what it is that we're under in regards to Israel and the Zionists and our controlled government. All these government officials that you may or may not trust based on your partisanship, you start finding out they're both on board with allowing the Zionists to continue to do whatever they do in the name of their politics and their Jenga game or whatever the hell it is. It's just, quite honestly, it eats away at our reputation as a generation. As I've said many times, we're some of the worst people that ever walked the earth for allowing this to happen while witnessing it in our phones every day. Justifying it with a fake narrative that will not go down well in history at all. And those who continue to spew that propaganda are going to find out just how poorly they age and their reputations age. And whatever comes of that, deserving. So that's really where my head is in regards to that. I don't want to give that more conversation today, but that's the reality of it. I just hope for the best for all who's surviving. I can tell you the trauma that I'm starting to realize is in my head is I've seen so many dead Palestinian people. When I see them alive, I can still see I've seen someone who looks like them dead. That is a weird thing, man. That is a weird thing. When you start seeing people walking around in such a way that they look like somebody who wasn't walking around, if that makes any sense. Like, that's the craziest thing in the world, man. But that's how many dead Palestinian people we've seen. How many dead Palestinian children we've seen. It's just, it's traumatic. And I don't feel sorry for any of us who are watching it, because those who are going through it have the real trauma to deal with. But it is what it is, man. So I just want to pray for the Palestinian people, man. I want to pray for everybody who's going through that. who Zionists and Israel is putting through this in the name of their evil ways and their murderous intentions. And they justify it with fake morality and fake religion and all types of other stuff. And they, the latest thing online I also see is them stealing every damn thing. They say they want to take back the watermelon. They use watermelon to make fun of my people. But the Palestinian people use the watermelon as a means of representing their flag, since it was considered illegal for them to wave their flag at one point in Israel occupied state of Palestine, their very own. So what they did was they took the watermelon, since it's the same colors, green, black, and red, and used that as a representative for their flag. And our Israelis are saying, we created the seedless watermelon. Well, watermelon's supposed to have seeds in them anyway, if that's the truth. All you did was effectively take the roots, what really makes them healthy, out of it. And you're giving yourselves away if you did put, in fact, the seedless watermelon, because that's doctored fruit, and we all know that doctor's fruit is not as healthy as original God-made fruit, but that's just a metaphor for how they operate. They lie about what they do, and the other stuff that they do that they ain't lying about is evil and shouldn't be done. So it's the cancer of the earth. That's all it is. It's cancer of the earth. So now they're saying they're trying to take that back. He ain't taking that back. I understand watermelon to be two things. Something that's supposed to be disrespectful about black people, because they say stereotypically we love watermelons, and something that's supposed to be empowering for Palestinian people because of their flag. Otherwise, it's just a fruit. That's literally it. And then Israel has their own kippahs. Now they say, oh, we got kippahs. We're selling kippahs with the Star of David. They stole that from Palestinians. They steal the music from Palestinians. They steal that food from Palestinians. I can't tell you how many Instagrams and TikToks I've seen with Israeli people taking their food recipes from Palestinians and saying it's their own food. Oh, we did this, we made that, no, you didn't make that. That's from them. That's their food. You took it from them, just like everything else you take. They dances, just, and I liken it to the way white culture takes everything from black people. That's how you know it's the same energy. That's how you know it's the same devil. Because even though it's a different facets of these same people, Europeans who colonized, they still obsess over that of whom they torture. They fetish over us. Everything. They love black culture. But they hate black people. They want to kill black people, but they love black culture. They love black, they fetish us sexually and things like that. That's what these people were doing to the Palestinians. It's the same thing. They obsess over them, steal everything from them, want to kill them, want to treat them horribly, create new ways of making themselves feel better by treating these people horribly. It's the same damn thing. And for those of us black folks who are seeing, it's like, oh yeah, that's what they did to us too. That's how we know it's the same people. That's how we know it's the same energy and the same devil. Because they obsess over y'all, take everything from y'all, claim it to be yours, gaslight y'all, just like they gaslight us. All this stuff that they do in the psychological games that Zionists are playing over Palestinian people, throwing out narratives that are far debunked, acting like things aren't what they are when they clearly are. It's the same thing they did to black people. I remember saying it as a child, like, why do they act like we don't have a gripe with what it is they've done, and why they act like we're the bad guy when they do it to us? But every accusation is a confession with Zionists and colonizers. And I think it's in their books that they act this way. I personally think they teach one another to do this. Just like when I saw that individual that was acting like he was, terrified of Palestinian protesters for Palestine, rather, in America. He turned around, he was angry, he gave him the finger, and all of a sudden he just went into acting mode and acted like he was being terrified. And I think that's a psychological game that they play, that they can hide behind their legal games to allow themselves to will the truth away from the circumstance and will their intentions into the circumstance. It's just like when they're torturing people and they say, we know you are a terrorist. You're a terrorist. Like, no, I'm really not trying to terrorize. Yes, you are. And that's why we're terrorizing you, because you want to kill us. It's like they have to will the falsehoods into reality to justify and move forward with their intentions of being the evil that they describe in others. It's quite interesting psychology when you consider it. They are not going to call themselves the bad guys, but they're going to do the things that describe themselves and display themselves rather as the bad guys. But they're going to point at you and say that you are what they are. It's like a weird, warped, psychological screw to try to will reality into being what it is that would justify their evil ways. And I think that's a way for them to screw with the people they're screwing with, no different than any other psychological warfare. Gaslighting, projection. These are things that they do to screw with the people that they're screwing with, and while manipulating the environment, if they say it enough, it'll be that. You remember I was telling you guys about people who try to manifest, like, my words are what they are. Well, this is what they do to Palestinian people. This is what whites do to black people if they're racist like that. Not everybody's like that, but of course, what I'm trying to say is that's what they've been doing to us. It's like they will us. You are a terrorist. Black Panthers are terrorists. No, we're not. We're a reaction to the terrorism placed upon us. No, you're not. You're terrorists, and we're going to kill you because of it. And then another thing that I notice about these Zionists is every time they're addressing a Palestinian protester, they always manage to express the rhetoric that they tell us is triggering. R word, SA word, all these different things. Well, I see why they are psychologically intentional on keeping these words from us, because when they use them, they mean to demean and trigger and push forth the worst of things. So instead of them saying something simple like F you, I don't agree with you, they find these very creative and colorful ways of painting out the most despicable and awful things. It's like, where does your imagination even take you to these places? And you realize these are the same people who will stand behind these platforms and make it so that you are wrong for saying those words, and you realize what those words actually mean to them, probably more so than they mean to you. And when they use them intentionally to paint out colorful things that they hope happen to you, which are some of the worst things they can come up with in their minds, you start to realize what means most to them. It's psychological, right? It's like, oh, so this really gets to you. This is why you try to silence people, because these words really matter to you. And when you go to express those words in such a way that you think is the worst thing in the world, you think it has the same impact on us as it has on you if it were done to you. And so to protect yourselves from that from which hurts you, you will suppress these words in the minds of others, from the mouths of others. So we can't say the R word because it's so triggering. We can't express certain things in certain ways. We can't say certain things on YouTube because those words are so triggering. But let them see somebody holding a Palestinian flag, protesting for the betterment of Palestinian lives, and all of a sudden those are the words, the exact words that they suppress us from saying, are the exact words and colorful language that they use to insult the people who are standing up against it. Nonsense. Zionists need to understand something. You cannot will away the consciousness of the people around you. We are not NPCs. This is what they need to understand and discover. Believe and discover that the people around you have a consciousness that may be even higher than yours, although that might not be what you would consider possible because the world revolves around you and you're the chosen people. But the truth of the matter is you're actually not chosen at all for anything good. And you don't have a higher consciousness at all because you're easy to look at and see that you reflect poorly upon yourself. And the world is going to close in on you the more you continue to behave this way while everybody is watching. While you think we're a bunch of NPCs that mold with the will of your intentions and aligned our thinking with the will of your words, what you're going to find out is you don't have the power you thought you had. That wasn't real. A lot of people were allowing you to think that you were in power because they valued the money that you control. But once you realize that money is being cheated out of all of us, then they start realizing who's really around them and who they really think. Some of these people make you think you're more powerful than you are lying to you because it's in their best interest to do so. But when it's no longer in their best interest to do so, just like anybody else who realizes they're not standing next to the winner, they're going to walk away. And you're not the winner no more. We're getting up out of here. And that's what's going to happen to these Israelis. That's going to happen to these Zionists. And there's something else that needs to be said. Our president has a degenerative brain disease. That's another one of those lies that these Zionists don't want to tell. They don't want to tell that lie because he's behind the bull crap that they want to do. But the reality is they're taking advantage of a sick man. That's the reality of it. They're taking advantage of a man whose mind has degenerated. That's what's happening there. He's not with us anymore. So I have to ask, when we say Genocide Joe, am I certain he even knows what the hell's going on? Because in judging by from the footage that I've been seeing, his mind is gone. It was already starting to degenerate before, when he was running in office 4 years ago. We saw signs of that then. Now, he's barely coherent. I actually commend him for being as strong as and as conscious as he is, given what I truly see there. Given what I truly see there, which has gotten progressively worse since the beginning of this genocide. His mind is gone. For those who want to vote for this man or afraid what happens if Trump gets in office, for which I think is the same devil, different body, same devil. Because it's not about him, it's about the people behind him, no different than this individual who's now not well. You see, stuff is still moving around. They put him in front of us, but is he controlling anything? Of course not. He's not running the free world. He can barely even control his directions. He don't even know where he's at. He's not well. So if they can prop him up, making him look like he is still in charge, and pantomime around this man the way they do, then you have to understand that ain't no president they put in front of you have any real power. We know who has the power because we're seeing them wield it right now. So I don't think it really matters who you vote for. It's a puppet, unless you're going to vote for a third party candidate for which they will probably kill, if I'm being completely honest with you. That's why I worry about Jill and all these other people. You're running for it. You got to understand, you are stepping into a space that's already controlled, an environment that you can't disrupt at all. So if you're running for president and think you're going to change things, what you're going to find out is that they're not going to allow it. They're going to do everything they can to discredit you and ultimately take you out. They're killing babies. You understand what I'm saying? They're willing people who are victims into being seen as terrorists, if not for our very own eyes telling us otherwise. They are not going to respect a third party candidate as the president of the United States. They will pantomime around you for the sake of their own intentions to keep that of the seat of the presidency in high regard, to posture for those who are watching them, which is all that really is about. But the reality is, you bring a third party candidate in there while they're doing this genocide and while they capping for the Ukrainian government and all this other stupid shit that they're doing that ain't gonna age very well, they're probably gonna knock you off. I'm just being honest. They're killing babies. They ain't nothing for them to knock off a 72-year-old woman. So I would tell Jill not to run. They're already trying to keep you from running. They're doing everything they can to keep you from running because they don't want to sway us away from what it is that they need to stay in place in order for them to make things happen the way that they intend to. But all of that's falling apart any damn way, as we all know. Only thing keeping them together is that of what it is that they have invested in. And eventually the wall's going to start closing in on those people. It's taking longer than we'd like it to, but it's going to happen. The walls are going to close in on all these AIPAC paid for government officials and all of these different Congress individuals who are slimy in nature. The wall's closing in on all of these individuals. Your president, his mind is gone. All these people, they're going to have to face what comes with all that they've been doing very soon. And so that's why I'm telling you, like, if I were Jill, I'd just wait another 4 years. Or I wouldn't even want that spot. You can do a lot more good without having a corrupted Congress behind you, trying to thwart every move you make, regardless, because you're not a part of their party or their party, which are both limbs of the same body, to be honest with you. And so, unless you're going to root out all those bad roots, whoever you throw up there, regardless if their intentions are right or not, they're going to find out that they don't have no power and it ain't a job they want. So that's my opinion about that. But Yeah, man, I'm just paying a lot of attention. The one thing that I know is that the government's credibility in the eyes of my generation and the generations younger than me has never been worse in the history of this country. It's never been worse. We see their lies, we see the results of their lying, and we see how dominant their intentions are over people who don't have anything, who aren't doing anything to nobody, just want to survive. The most innocent of us, children with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Children who don't come from strong families are the people they're attacking. And you got government standing behind them, spewing debunked lies at us. Like, in regards to the situation, I mean, it's just no credibility there. They've lost their credibility completely. And so it's going to be more people who don't vote and more people who vote for a third-party candidate probably than ever before. I don't know that candidate can win because there's still a great deal of this country who are wrapped up in the partisanship. Some of them have been wrapped up in this for so long and are so evil in their own right, in the various different things that they have in their own personal lives, that they're not going to be aligned spiritually in a way that allows for them to do things the right way. They're not. I'm just being honest. There's too many KKKs running around to give a shit about anything that's going to make the world a better place. I'm just being honest. Too many evil drug dealing type, spiritually, sexually warped individuals in this country to actually make a decision that's going to align with something that is of God. It's not going to happen. Like, I'm just being honest with you. A lot of these people are going to have to not be here at all in order for us to have the majority of something that's going to lean into what is ultimately morally correct. That's what I think. I just don't expect America to get it right, because America is a colonizing country. It's a country full of descendants of colonizers and victims of the colonization nonsense. People who've been warped by propaganda for a very long time that is meant to make normal of the suffering of others, and the intention that you can get yours and that everybody else should otherwise stand down while you rise to the top of the capitalistic pole. So as we know that that is the collective consciousness, I do not expect a whole lot of morality out of these folks. I really don't. Not a whole lot. There'll be a few people like myself who rise out of the concrete, but not a majority. A majority just wants to watch Super Bowl next year, and whatever gets in the way of that is against them. You could see that in the sporting event that was just shown when people were standing up against whatever they were, standing up for Palestine against this Zionist movement. You saw how many people were screaming USA. Like, they still think waving the Palestinian flag is something that's against the USA, but are not able to comprehend the idea that their government officials are waving Ukrainian flags and Israeli flags, and that they shouldn't want that. But see, when you're spiritually aligned with something that the evil is going to be about, you're going to automatically lean into evil without even being conscious of it. And that's what a lot of them do. They have evil roots. So whatever evil's about is what they're going to do. It's just true. And so that's what I'm here to tell everybody. I think good is going to win in the long run, but quite honestly, I don't think there's a whole lot of hope for a lot of colonizers, man. As it pertains to them being on the right side of history, they just got to die out. A lot of y'all just got to die out. I've seen enough good white people to know that's not everybody white, but y'all got a strong majority that I just do not believe in as it pertains to being on the right side of anything good. Like anything good at all. It's proven. It's proven. And that's a reactionary consciousness. It's not me saying, oh, I'm aggressive, I hate white people. No, I don't. I don't hate anybody, actually. But the way that this place has been molded, you will then see what I've said and then automatically call me racist or reverse racist or something like that. But that's, in and of itself, is part of the problem. A person can't identify something that is common in nature without being molded to being something that they're not, to protect the image of that of what it is that they're pointing out. It's the essence of white supremacy. No, you're not. No, I'm not, but you are. I know you are, but what am I? That type of that's the psychology of what it is that we have as our foundation and our roots. One nation under God and all men created equal, but 3/5 of a man if he black. Like, that's the type of logic that they engaged in to start this place. So to get that up out of our system, It's going to take some people facing some hard truths and crying some hard tears. And they're not ready to do that. They're not very strong to begin with, or otherwise they'd have a stronger morality about themselves that go against that nonsense. They're not very strong. And so that's what I'm here to tell y'all. It's going to take a whole generation of their children being just flat out better humans than them, in my humble opinion. And that's going to take, what, another 50 years for all of that to manifest? That's why it takes a lot of prayer to try to get us through this. Because the world is an evil world. We've already been told that in every book, religious book that it holds any connection to a living God. It's already told us that this place is evil. And what is going to happen is probably going to be worse than what we're seeing right now. If you believe in the Bible, that sort of thing, you believe in Quran, we already know that a lot of these people ain't going to change. They're just not going to. And so that's what it is, man. I just tell the truth. You can label me a disruptor. You can label me an idiot or whatever you want to. That's fine, bro. Prayers have been prayed. You understand what I'm saying? And as I always tell you guys, I pray before I acknowledge any of these type of thoughts. I pray that the Lord get the evil and the hate out of my own heart. Every day, twice a day. In the shower, I make sure that I say that along with the rest of my prayers. So for those who think I won't look at myself and see any fault, well, no, that's not how that works. Or won't look at myself and see any wrong. Even if I don't, I'm still asking the Lord to check it just the same. After all, I got colonizer in my veins. So that's really what it is, man. Just telling y'all the truth. Hopefully the future will label me a better person than the present would for all of its truth. You know what I mean? They point everybody else who wants to change as either a terrorist or a bad guy or something like that. You can call me whatever you want today, as long as change comes from what it is, or the seeds that I'm trying to plant into this phone. That's all I care about. Video 44, I thank y'all for watching. Come on.